You've probably heard Gary's economics banging on about taxing the rich.
I'm talking about taxing the very rich.
And you probably heard his opponents claiming that if we do increase taxes on the rich, they'll all leave and the country will be worse off.
We are advised we must leave the UK. There's no other choice.
In this video, we'll look at what's actually happening, why it's happening, and how it's affecting the tax revenue of the UK government. Let's get into it. It's clear that wealth inequality in the UK is a huge problem, and it's a problem that's only getting worse. Over time, the rich have bought up more and more of the assets, meaning things like houses, stocks and businesses. This has driven up the prices of those assets higher and higher, meaning ordinary and poorer people are less and less able to afford them. And these assets are things that generate wealth. Think rent from properties, dividends from stocks, profits from businesses. So this has become a vicious cycle, where the rich are getting more and more of the assets, so they're getting richer and richer, whereas ordinary people are stuck on the income from their wages, which they are increasingly unable to live on due to inflation and worsening economic condition of the country. Gary's economics has a solution to this: tax the rich. But would this work in practice? Many people are worried that if we increase taxes on the rich, they will move to countries with a lower tax rate. So, first of all, why would this be a problem? Governments get the majority of their funds from taxes. Have a look at this graph, which shows where the UK government gets its money from. The majority is from income tax, and most of the rest of it is from other forms of tax. Only 11% is from non-tax receipts. Now, wealthy individuals provide a huge proportion of this tax revenue, and furthermore, they create businesses and economic opportunities for the rest of society, which further increases the overall tax base. Have a look at this chart here. It shows that in 2022, the 10% of income taxpayers with the largest incomes contributed over 60% of income tax receipts. Now that's a lot, particularly when we take into account that their businesses are also helping other people to move into higher tax brackets as well. The UK tax rate is currently 45% on incomes over £125,140. Now, 45% is quite a lot, but it's not as high as some other European countries. Denmark's is 55.9%, France's is 55.4%, and Spain's is 47 to 54%. Depending upon the region. However, compare that to Dubai, which has zero income tax. That's right, zero. Or the state of Texas, which also has 0% income tax, although it does have sales and property taxes, which somewhat make up for this. This begs the question, if you are a high earner, why would you stay in a country where you have to pay so much tax? Particularly if the general quality of life in the country seems to be diminishing by the year. The news is reporting that millionaires are already fleeing the country by the thousands. But is this actually true? A Henley and Partners report found that actually nearly 100% of UK millionaires have not relocated to another country since 2013. Gary's Economics believes that high net worth individuals are actually the least mobile people in the world from a tax perspective. Their wealth is largely tied up in movable assets such as commercial and private property, in contrast to ordinary workers who genuinely can emigrate and sell their skills in an overseas labour market. This is why, according to him, the richest people are technically the easiest to tax. However, in April 2025, Kier Starmer's Labour government increased employer national insurance contributions from 13.8% to 15%, and lowered the threshold at which they become payable from £9,100 to £5,000. National insurance is a tax that employers pay to the government for each employee they have. Many people have criticised this change, since it increases the cost of having employees. This could lead to fewer new jobs or slower business growth, since it disincentivises small and medium-sized businesses from growing. It could mean that starting a business might seem more attractive in other countries instead of the UK, and successful businesses are the key cornerstone of the UK economy. So, ideally, we want as many successful growing businesses here as possible. Many people suggest that the answer isn't to increase taxes on the rich or increase taxes on businesses, but to increase taxes on the super rich, meaning the billionaire class. The number of billionaires in the UK has declined from 165 in 2024 to 156 in 2025. This marks the sharpest drop ever. The government's decision to abolish tax breaks for non-domiciled residents, or non-doms, has led to some wealthy individuals leaving the UK. A non-domiciled resident is someone who lives in the UK, but whose permanent home is in another country. Non-doms used to be able to limit the UK tax they pay on income and gains earned outside the UK, but the UK government has been tightening these rules recently, encouraging them to pay more UK tax or leave. Some UK billionaires have relocated to countries with more favourable tax regimes. For instance, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, a British billionaire, moved his tax residence to Monaco in 2020, which is estimated to save him £4 billion in UK taxes. According to the BBC, in 2024, 60 of the wealthiest people in the UK collectively contributed more than £3 billion a year in income tax. Furthermore, their businesses employ thousands of people in high salary roles, which in turn increases their taxable income. And a lot of this wealth then gets spent throughout the country, buying goods, services, restaurant dinners, you name it, suggesting that it trickles down through the country. This concept is called Trickle-Down Economics. Does this mean that we should want to keep the billionaires in the country? A wealth tax, based on a person's total assets, is often suggested. The UK does not, and never has had a wealth tax, although several other countries do, including Switzerland, Spain and Norway, with varying degrees of success. The billionaire class currently pays the same income tax and capital gain tax rates as the rest of us. That's 45% on income, 18% on gains from the sale of assets, and 24% on gains from the sale of residential property. Charting a course for the future will mean striking a fine balance between taxing the super rich, an amount that seems fair, while also incentivising them to stay in the country and incentivising people to build their businesses here. They need to see that their tax money is being spent wisely to improve schools, healthcare and infrastructure, and to make the UK a better place to live and work. At the same time, we should offer smart incentives that encourage them to invest in UK businesses and create jobs. It will be crucial to working with other countries on fair tax rules to help stop rich people from hiding money abroad, although this would be easier said than done, as one sovereign country can't exactly tell another sovereign country what to do with their tax laws. So there you have it, some facts, stats and ideas around millionaires leaving the UK. If you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think. See you on the next one.